Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Friday and it's January the 9th, 2026. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. So feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And our story today is coming out of the town of Newton Grove, right here in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Update, North Carolina police chief charged with sex crimes now facing more charges. I'll provide you with a summary here, and I'll identify some of my sources for you in the description box. So in our previous video, we discussed the case of the former chief of police for Newton Grove here in North Carolina, who was arrested and charged by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation with child sex crimes. At his first court appearance, his bond was denied, and a follow-up court appearance was scheduled for later this month. Well, today we're back again with an update because the former chief is now facing additional charges. Now, as a very quick recap, these are the 7 felony counts that the chief was facing. Now, it was asserted that he entered the bedroom of a young child while that child was asleep and took pictures of that child. And I said from the very beginning, it's not just the pictures that he took, but it's the type of pictures. And then he hid them away in a secret phone, a secret folder in his iPad. Okay, so when he appeared in court, bond was denied. That same day, he was suspended without pay by the Newton Grove, the town of Newton Grove, who was his employer. And I believe that's the point of where we ended in our last video. So his suspension notice was posted on January the 7th, and January the 13th, he officially resigned his position as police chief of the town of Newton Grove. They posted another letter stating that he was no longer affiliated or he was no longer an employee in any capacity for the town of Newton Grove. And just a few days later, there was another notice that the former chief, was facing additional charges. And the first thing I said, this was just a pile-on. This was nothing more than a setup. Because sometimes when people want to get at you, they'll find ways to get at you. And I assumed that they wanted to make sure he stayed going, that he would never come back, and that they were actually trying to tarnish his name a little bit further. That's what I thought, but I was wrong. We soon learned that the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation had additional charges for the chief, and this time they were drug-related charges. Yes, drug-related charges, and I was shocked. According to this new arrest warrant, the former chief, had in his possession 48 grams of a mixture of oxycodone and a camouflage-colored 5.56 AR style short-barreled rifle with no serial number on it. And under North Carolina law, such a firearm qualified as a weapon of mass destruction. So now the problems for the chief had really grown. In addition to these 3 charges that we previously discussed, it's 2 additional charges: drug trafficking and possession of a weapon of mass destruction. So now he was rebooked into the Sampson County Detention Center, and it would be for another court appearance with these updated charges and another request for bond. As you recalled, he was denied bond previously, and it was revealed that a public defender attorney had been assigned to him, but the former chief had indicated that he planned to hire his own attorney. Not sure if this took place, but he did have that second bond hearing. And this time the judge made the following decisions. Under drug and firearm charges, the bond was set at $500,000, and that's a secure bond. And for the child sex abuse charges, she set the bond at $50,000. That's also a secured bond, but this bond came with some specific stipulations. And here they are. The former chief can have no contact with the victim, including direct, indirect, or third party initiated unless it's through counsel. He must remain in North Carolina. He has to surrender any and all passports. He must remain in a family home or an independent home that does not belong to the victim or their family. That's why I think it's probably a family member. No access to personal electronic devices except for monitoring devices suggests that if he gets out on bond, he's going to have electronic monitoring. He must remain 1,000 feet away from educational properties, which means he can't even get close to a school. I hope he doesn't have kids who might want him to take him to school because he probably won't be able to do so. There was also mentioned that even though the judge did not require counseling, if for some reason he decided that they would take that route, they needed to go through the course and get permission. I have to tell you that I am just so saddened by the outcome of this case. I feel really, really sorry for the Newton Grove Police Department. It's such a small department, and now they have to deal with becoming the laughingstock among their colleagues. Imagine your chief, your top leader, has now been arrested and is in jail on charges of child sex abuse and weapons and drug charges. And it's probably going to take decades before the stain created from this current administration could ever be erased. I feel sorry for Greg Warren's family. I feel sorry for the embarrassment that they have to endure. It certainly didn't have to be this way, but this was a conscious decision that he made, and now he just has to deal with the consequences of it. That's just a fact of it. But I tell you one thing I know for sure, the thing that's on the top of his list right now is trying to post bond and get out of jail as quickly as he can, because just knowing that a police chief is now in the same jail with other criminals is most likely setting the stage for trouble. His next court appearance is on January the 27th. I'll try to stay on top of this case, and I'll bring you updates whenever they become available. And that's all I have for you right now, but feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video, and by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks like just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.